Hi and welcome to Cozy Reads. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on the video and joining me today. If you are returning, thank you for coming back, and I hope you enjoyed today's little haul. Today's book's from somewhere that I've not bought any books from before, and it is The World of Books. This place was recommended by a friend. She buys lots of used books from there, and it is very important that although they do have some new books on there, the vast majority of what they sell are used books. All of the books that I'm going to show you today were used, and they are advertised as very good quality. You will see that the very good quality varies quite a bit. There were 3 books that were quite damaged when I got them, but the customer service, I can't really fault it. They asked for photos, I sent photos, and they've sent replacements which are on their way. So I can't really complain about that. I would say it's made me realise I'm perhaps a bit of a book snob and I don't like my spines damaged, and I didn't realise they talk about minimal damage on spines. So I probably wouldn't buy books from there again, unless they were maybe hardbacks, or if I couldn't find them. That's just me being clearly a bit of a book snob. But I do think it's really, good for eco-friendly, and if you don't mind used books with a bit of spine creasing, then, I would recommend them for you. Like I said, my friend gets lots of books on there. I've sent her some books from there now. She quite liked it, so it is what it is. These books are all about, I think they were about £3. I don't think they were very expensive at all. This one I think I bought for £3.50. It was clearly £3 from the works, so I feel like that's a bit cheeky. But the first one I'm going to show you is Rule of Walls by Leigh Bardugo, and it was originally £3 from the works. It does have a fair bit of spine damage. Sort of see the crease in there, which I'm not thrilled about, but it's fine, we'll make do. And this is part of the King of Scars duology. So I really enjoyed the Six of Crows duology. This is in the same sort of Grishaverse. I believe it's set after the events of Six of Crows, so I'm intrigued to get into this world. I'm not going to read the back of it because I haven't yet read King of Scars, but I have enjoyed Leigh Bardugo's writing. Apologies if you can hear a noise. My cat has discovered a post-it that I've put in the bin, and she just decided to get it out and play with it out of the recycling bin. So she's having fun. It's great times. I'm also going to take the time as well to apologise if you can hear any wind noises. Storm the go, which is a shame because it's a lovely sunny day, but there's a massive windstorm going on, and I have fields on like 2 sides of my house. It's just going to be windy. But yeah, so this is the second book in the King of Scars duology. It has a really cool map in the front. It does have a bit of wear and tear to the pages. I have said I'm not too worried actually, because if I really enjoy the King of Scars duology, I think I would potentially give these to my friend and get them in hardback. So it's not the end of the world, so it's probably better that I've got it used. If I do really like it, and if I don't, it'll get donated anyway. That is the first book we've got. I've got another Leigh Bardugo. I really hope that's how her name is pronounced, because that's how I keep pronouncing it. And it is Shadow and Bone, which is also in the Grishaverse, the same sort of universe of this Grisha magic. Now, unlike King of Scars, so this happens prior to the events of Six of Crows. I was tempted to get this because Shadow and Bone is available in the same collector's edition that I've got Six of Crows duology in, but they haven't done Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising in the same hardback. So if I really enjoy this, I would probably rebuy this in hardback along with the other 2 books. So we shall see, because I am getting really into hardback books, especially for this series, because I've got Six of Crows in hardback. I would like them all in it if I enjoy them. I did watch an episode or 2 of this on Netflix, and then I cancelled my Netflix subscription, so not bored too much of it there for myself. It follows the same sort of universe with the Grisha magic, and it follows our character Alina, who basically unleashes dormant magic not even she knew she possessed, and she's sort of thrust into sort of the limelight, into her country's magical military, and she falls for their notorious leader, the Darkling. There's a bit of a romance subplot going on in there. I think it's a really pretty cover actually. And yeah, I really enjoy her writing style, so eager to try this. It's, I think, about 320 pages, so not too bad, and it is the first in a trilogy. The next book I've got is a bit of a romance book, and it's a slightly larger paperback, as you can tell. Slightly larger than your average size book. It's The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. So again, we do have some sort of spine damage there and a little bit on the sort of corners of the book. Shadow and Bone, on contrast, has no spine damage. I think this is a book like you pick up in a shop. I think this is definitely very good condition, like new. This has some fair amount of crease into the spine. I don't know if you're really picking up on this, and some of the corners are a bit dented, but not too bad. I believe there's been a movie of this, and I think I have watched it actually, because the title seems so familiar. So it's supposed to be that they work in publishing and they have desks that face each other. They come from 2 separate companies that have merged, and they don't really get along. Like I said, I have watched a film with this, and Lucy is very competitive. She won't let Josh beat her or anything, but they're up for the same job, and only one of them can get it. Whoever gets it will end up being the other one's boss. So obviously it creates a bit of tension between the 2 of them. I'm excited to give this a try. Sorry about that, my husband just came home, so just went to go and greet him. The next book is The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. So I picked up When in Rome and Beg, Borrow and Steal recently, and they're all standalones in an interconnected universe, so I thought this would be a really good one to pick up. This follows Brie, who's helplessly in love with her NFL best friend. She basically ends up getting in a car accident and it ruins any chance she has of being a professional ballerina. So she decides she's going to run her own dance studio. She's like, that's if she can afford to even be able to keep up the rent and keep this open. So Nathan decides he's going to swoop in, he's going to save the day, he's going to buy a whole building. Yeah, don't you need to worry about it right now, I've got your back. But Brie's not happy. She's independent, she's you know, wants to solve her own problems. And, you know, Brie's a bit miffed, so she goes out for a drink, she gets a bit drunk and unfortunately spills some secrets to a TMZ reporter who basically thinks they're a couple. Now, Nathan's publicist is like, this is great, you know, you need a bit of a family image. And through faking a couple, they end up realising they've got some feelings for each other. Nice romance, friends to lovers. This one has no damage to the spine and in pretty good condition. The next book is Thieves' Gambit by Kavian Lewis. This has minor damage to the front there, it's not too bad. The spine is absolutely fine. So yeah, just a little bit of damage to the corners, so not too bad with this one, the condition of this one either. This sort of gave me Six of Crows vibes. It involves a deadly heist, a dangerous love. Would you play the Thieves' Gambit? This follows Rosalind. She's been raised in this family of thieves. She's pretty good at it, but unfortunately her family go for a rough patch. Her mum, I believe, is not very well, and she needs money. She needs to be able to win this competition. Now, in order to win this, she's got to outsmart, she's got to outmaneuver and backstab her fellow competitors, including her nemesis. It says here, but can she steal victory from the handsome boy who makes a play for her heart and who might be hiding the most dangerous secret of all? There's a little bit of a romance going on with this. It's got a really nice red sprayed edge. But yeah, I just feel like I really like the heist element of Six of Crows, so I'm hoping, and that had a bit of a romance sort of subplot going on, so I'm hoping I enjoy this as well. It's a similar sort of premise. So yeah, eager to give this a try. The next book is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. I've been really intrigued to start this series. Saw it a lot last year and I was eager to give it a try. Now this one, again, very good condition, but I doubt this has ever been read because it looks like you could have picked this up from the bookshop. No damage towards the spine, really good condition overall, so really chuffed with this one. I think this is about, again, probably about £3.50 because most of the books were around that mark. Maybe it's Kiva, might be saying that wrong, who works as the prison healer for basically this death prison. People go there, they're very unlikely to be getting back out of it. And whilst working at the prison, one day the notorious rebel queen basically gets dropped off at the doorstep and there's a simple note for Kiva: don't let her die, we are coming. But the queen, who is in no fit state, is basically volunteered for these challenges that are quite dangerous and that, again, she cannot participate in them. So Kiva, being the selfless person that she is, basically says, look, I'll volunteer to do these challenges in her stead. She's healing, and this is on the understanding that if she succeeds in these challenges, both herself and the queen will be set free from this prison, because as much as she's a healer from there, she's basically been trapped there for 10 years. But the problem is that in these challenges, no one has ever survived before. It does say as well at the back, there's a bit of a romance subplot. With an incurable plague sweeping the prison, a mysterious new inmate fighting for Kiva's heart, a prison rebellion brewing, Kiva can't escape the terrifying feeling that her trials have only just begun. I do believe this is part of a trilogy as well, so I'm excited to give this a try. I do think it's quite an interesting one as well, as you can see the sort of the prison bars on the front. Clearly very much a fantasy mood. Some of these were purchased as a bit of a gift for me as well, I'm happy to say. So most of them I purchased myself, some of them I haven't. The next one, again, I'm really chuffed with the condition of. To say this is, I would have put this as like new, because it's really nice condition. It is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is in really good condition. There's no damage to the spine. Pages are really pristine, so does the book. This would not look out of place in Waterstones on the table as it is. But this was very good or like new condition. Again, about £3 or £4, not much at all, so really, really impressed. I have the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy from Stephanie Garber, and my friend said basically informed that this is a prequel. So this says, once a year a mysterious caravel basically turns up, and only those who are invited or have received an invitation can actually get access to it. And it follows, there's basically like week-long games that go on, and there's basically like a snow-covered maze there as well, and people are never who they seem. So at midnight on the first day, the games begin, and all the players are basically competing for the same prize, and it is a single wish that's granted. But in this game, it's not all as it seems. They're very dangerous, there's lots of things that could happen, and that you may not make it out of the games. So I feel like it's an interesting sort of premise. She comes highly recommended by friends, so I'm intrigued to give this a try. It does have in it as well some sort of like letters and things in it, so a bit of mixed media. Yeah, really impressed with the condition of this as well. Like I said, it feels like, no, like the present here, really good condition there. The next few are the ones that I emailed about basically and said, you know, I'm not chuffed with the condition, and just when you look at, that's what they describe as very good, and you get something that's delivered and it's like half fallen apart, it doesn't really match up. But I cannot fault their customer services. They were like, send me pictures, so I did do, and they've sent them out, so this should be coming this week. I only messaged them on Friday, and I got the notification on, I got the reply on Saturday saying that they were sending them out, and obviously Sunday in the UK is a non-post day, so I'm expecting them maybe Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, really impressed with that customer service. I thought that's really understanding. So the first book that I will get, and the next book, the replacement, will be coming, because it's just been really squished, and then on the inside, like I can't really open it because I feel like they're going to break, but the binding's just not where it should be on the inside either. It's Enemies to Lovers by Laura J. Williams. I will say as well, when they said, you know, what to do with the books, like, do you want to return them? They're like, no, like, donate them or recycle them. So this one will probably get recycled just because I feel like it's not good enough condition to donate. But I do find that, again, customer service, really good. So this says, one holiday, one rule, don't fall in love. So this follows our characters Flo and Jamie. Flo is going on a Greek holiday with a family, and Jamie is basically her brother's best friend, and he's tagged along to what she thought would be a relaxing holiday. He's described as a bit of a Lothario. He's a bit of a Casanova womanizer, a bit of a flirt. And they have 2 weeks of basically sharing loads of meals together, you know, doing lots of activities together. They can't really escape each other on this holiday. Now she says, you know, I'm determined not to let you get the better of me. I'm going to have a fab holiday, whatever, I'm not really bothered about you. But as you might guess, the more and more time they spend together, the less like enemies they feel, and they slowly become lovers. So pretty self-explanatory on the cover. So that one I will pop in my recycle bin just because it's not good enough condition for me. So yeah, I don't know if that's maybe happened in transit or someone just mislabeled that for quality wise. The next book, you can't really, you're not really gonna be able to tell. You can see that some parts are quite yellowed. It's got also quite a lot like staining and things to the front, and I'm just not comfortable with a stained book. I feel like that's not, to me, very good condition. It has got a lot of crease on the spine as well, so this to me just wasn't great condition. And that is The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. And I have been really wanting to read a book with a bit of magic in, a bit of witchery. This involves our character Vivian, who's a witch, and she basically gets broken up with. She's a bit heartbroken. And she's handled it the way any witch might, by, you know, getting drunk, having lots of baths, and placing a curse on your ex. You know, as you might do if you're a witch. Now, it flashes forward 9 years later, and I believe she puts like a hex on him that things will happen if he returns, and he comes back. So Reese comes back, he's still gorgeous and handsome and charismatic. As he comes back, things start going a bit wrong in the town. So it says they're like wind-up toys turn a bit murderous, there's an outraged ghost, a surprisingly talkative cat, and they basically need to put their feelings aside and try and figure out a way to remove this hex from him so that they can start putting things back as they should be. Yeah, like I said, this one is, I just feel like the front is so stained that I'm gonna like wash my hands after this. It doesn't feel to me like a very good quality book. So yeah, that will be going. The next one is the same. It's got quite yellowed pages, and the spine is, I know it has minimal spine damage, but you're not really gonna be able to tell, are you? But the spine is absolutely wrecked on this. It's got so much creasing and damage, and yeah, the pages are really yellowed. Not great. And really, there's like a lot of bending. You can't really tell that. There's a lot of bending to a lot of the pages and things like that as well. So I feel like, and there's a lot of staining to the front, I just feel like this isn't a very good quality book for me. But like I said, their customer service has been amazing. They were happy with the picture provided and said, yeah, fair enough, you know, that's not the condition you bought. So they are replacing those 3 books. So I can't fault the customer service. Next one is The Murder Game by Tom Hindle. I have another book for him, I think it's Murder on Lake Garda. And it says, 1 house, 9 guests, endless motives for murder. Guests assemble at the Hamlet Hall for the New Year's party to remember. They are to take part in a murder game with a 1920s twist, and everyone has their own part to play. The evening has barely begun when one guest is found dead, killed by an injury to the head. Someone is playing their own rules. So intrigued to find out how the murder game ends and who the killer is of these games. So interesting premise. I'll look forward to getting a copy of that. So that is all for today. Thank you for joining me. Hope you had a marvellous day. If you've read any of these books, let me know your opinions, obviously spoiler free, in the comment section. If you have enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing, and keeping an eye out for my next video. Have an absolutely marvellous day. See you soon.